What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another exciting personal finance video where I talk about gold, silver, investing, personal finance, all that good stuff. Okay, guys, if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my website, My Road to Wealth and Freedom, where I just recently published an article talking about how markets are all basically a giant confidence game. So be sure to check that out, and as well as my other finance articles. Okay, guys. First, I just want to throw out a disclaimer here. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. Everything I say, it's just my own personal views, thoughts, and opinions based on my own experience with money and finances and whatnot. So, if you're into precious metals or if you're interested in investing or anything like that, please consult a financial advisor before you make any decisions. All right, guys, with that out of the way, let's get into it. My very first thing I want to do today is tell you guys I just heard from Silver Gold Bull. I'm getting my other 1 ounce maple tomorrow, which will be Monday. Yay! Another ounce to the stack. That makes ounce number 6 now. 6 ounces of the beautiful yellow metal. Um, why am I buying this stuff? Some people might want to know. Well, one of the main reasons I'm buying this stuff is because I'm actually quite concerned about the global financial system. I'm worried about currency markets, the global debt balloon, the global financial system, the banks and stuff can go under. Um, the whole idea of why people, I think, are panicking this time around with this economic crisis is that in the last crisis it was a banking crisis, came out of the subprime mortgage. It was a debt crisis that morphed into like a banking crisis and all that stuff. Well, we were kind of able to paper that over with cheap money. Interest rates dropped to zero, where they stayed for a decade. Um, uh, they printed a bunch of money and threw in the system to prop up, the stock market and real estate and all that stuff. So that has been going on now for 10 years. Um, and we've tried to kind of correct along the way, but the answer was just print more money, keep interest rates low, and enact all these policies to basically prop up these bubbles. So here we are today. The numbers and the amount of money is just astronomical. Globally, debt is at, I don't know, 240 trillion, something like that. It's just a crazy number. Basically, like a lot of countries are basically out of ammunition. Recently, the Fed last week, just in its minutes from its July meeting, came out and said, we're out of bullets. We don't know what else to do. The government's going to have to get together, Congress, and come out with some sort of plan to stimulate the economy, build bridges, send checks to people, print more money, send checks to people. That seems to be what's going on. And I think all of this stuff it's kind of like the calm before the storm. I don't want to sound like an alarmist or like somebody who's like a conspiracy theorist or someone who's paranoid, because I'm not any of those things. I still own my stocks and financial investments, but I've been diversifying hard into precious metals recently. I've owned them for a long time. I recently started to buy a lot more because I recognize that this time may very well be different. um, you know but in finance they're always like, oh, the doomers and gloomers always come out and say this time it's different, it's going to be the end of the world, and it never is. Peter Schiff was, he called the last financial crisis. He said there was a huge asset bubble. It blew up. He made his rounds, and then they basically trash talked him for a decade because we didn't return to a gold standard or whatever it was he was going on about. Talking about, I guess, the collapse of the U.S. dollar as a global reserve currency and that, which very well could happen. But anyways, this time around, why is it different this time around? Well, first of all, we have an unprecedented global health crisis that's not going away. This has caused unprecedented levels of monetary stimulus. Um, Central banks around the world have just been pumping trillions and trillions and trillions. I don't know how many trillions have been printed so far. The EU, Bank of Japan, China, there's probably doing some. The US, we know 2 or 3 trillion so far, and more on the way. Canada, like almost 300 billion. Probably Australia's kind of in there too. An astronomical amount of money has been printed, guys. And that is really scary. Is it going to stoke inflation? Are we going to get hyperinflation? I'm not really sure how all this is going to play out, how all of this is really going to work. So, anyway, what you want to do, what I think is prudent and safe, is to diversify into precious metals. I've been buying some silver, as you can see, beautiful 2020 silver maple leaf here. And I've been buying these gold maples as much as I can afford, which is roughly an ounce a month. Some of it I use my passive income from my stock investments. I have a lot of dividend stocks. As long as they don't cut those dividends, I'll be continuing to diversify. That brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. Diversification more generally. Now, the financial advisors, those type guys you meet at the bank, or I don't know where they work, but whatever, financial advisors, their advice is to diversify. Just throw your money into a 60-40 stock bond portfolio and you'll do fine. Bonds will offset losses in the stock market and blah 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 blah. You'll be safe. It's a sleep at night. I'm sick and tired of this kind of stick to your plan, keep your head in the sand mentality. People really are, most people don't understand finance. They don't care about it. They think it's boring. They don't want to, the average person out there does not know like anything that's going on. And I'm not saying that I know everything that's going on. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of people who do know what's going on, and I try to form my own opinions based on facts, based on just being prudent. The fact of the matter is, you can't say anything for sure in this world. Maybe this crisis will pass, things will return to normal. I doubt it, but maybe that's a possibility. So you're just kind of hedging. You want to diversify to hedge against massive losses in any one asset class. I own a lot of paper assets. I own tons of stocks and ETFs, index funds, you name it. There's even some bond funds there. I don't own them. My wife does. That's kind of her decision. I've told her several times, I don't like the bond market. Bonds are in a bubble. They're record low interest rates. They're just massively over-owned. Stock market in a bubble. S&P 500 just hit another all-time high. Okay, the real economy is in the toilet. It is the best case scenario. We're probably looking at like a 30% GDP contraction. Probably, I would say globally. I'm not an economist, but that's what I would think. Given how no hotels, airlines, cruise lines, sports, entertainment, nothing's open. Restaurants, so many things have been wiped out. So many like small shops, small businesses have been destroyed. There's going to be some real pain to go around. I don't for one doubt that. Where is it going to show up? I think we're going to start seeing it in the fall and winter quarters here. Especially if we get another lockdown, guys. I think this is just, you might as well go buy a farm, start growing your own food. But anyways, so bond market is in a bubble. Stock market in a bubble. Real estate market, like across the board, all this cheap money the past decade has just pushed real estate prices to astronomical levels. So many cities like San Francisco, New York, LA, Toronto, Vancouver, I'm sure like Sydney, and elsewhere. You can't walk down the road without passing $1 million houses everywhere. Everywhere is $1 million home. Unbelievable. Never in a million years would I thought that. But anyway, such is the world we live in today, where you can go to neighborhoods and entire cities are just filled with like $1 million homes. It is complete ridiculous. It's all a function of cheap, easy money. People are in debt up to their eyeballs, which shows as soon as we shut down back in March, instantly the government had to start spewing out money at everybody because nobody had $500 saved for an emergency. That to me is just crazy. And it really kind of makes you wonder, are people going to pull back and kind of reflect after this like extraordinary event? Are they going to be more cautious? Are they going to have a rainy day fund? Are they going to have some assets like this that they can maybe rely on if banks fail, if currencies collapse, the stock market collapses, the bond market blows up? Are they preparing for anything like this? My guess is not. People don't tend to learn their lessons. They were bailed out by the government in 08, 09, again now. So they're probably just going to let it ride. I do not think that's a good, safe way to conduct your personal financials. So, anyways, guys, I just want to kind of move on from that. Next thing I want to talk about here is gold and silver. Gold and silver. As we saw last week, Buffett bought shares in Barrick Gold. I wrote a post on that. Buffett buys gold. Now his dad will roll over in his grave, and now I think I've seen it all. But that should send a huge signal to everyday investors. We don't know if Buffett himself did it or one of his deputies. So many unknowns with that. But at the very least, you should be a little bit diversified with gold and silver. I like to own physical gold and silver. I'm comfortable owning physical gold and silver. I know that it can be super volatile, goes up and down. It's all over the place. It's crazy. But long term, it's a good hedge and it's a good store of value. I'm not into Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are. That's your prerogative, whatever. I know what I'm comfortable with, and I'm holding gold and silver. I'm holding it for the long run. If I don't use it, my kids will inherit it. It's a way to kind of get your wealth out of the banking system, out of the government run system. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a tax evader or anything like that. So I'm not trying to give bad advice, guys. I'm just trying to say, this is what I'm doing. There's reasons why you want some things out of the system, especially with all the talk about wealth tax in the US and Canada and all worldwide. Check out my video about my thoughts on that wealth tax too a few weeks back. Anyways, guys, that's what I'm doing. I feel like it's a good hedge. I don't know where this is going to go. If everything recovers, my financial assets are going to do phenomenally well. If everything collapses, I have my gold and silver to fall back on. So take everything with a grain of salt. Precious metals are an asset class, commodities and real estate. They're asset classes unto themselves. Commodities are particularly underowned. Precious metals has seen a good run, but they've just come through a 10-year bear market. So there may be a lot more room to run, especially if the money keeps printing. And if there is a financial reset, you get guys talking about gold and silver, gold going to between 10,000 an ounce and 40 grand an ounce. You get silver, I don't know, $300 an ounce or something like. There's crazy numbers being thrown around. I'm not saying the gold and silver will ever reach those heights, but I'm not saying that they're not either. You just don't know. I don't know. I've never lived through a financial reset. No one alive today has. That's we're in uncharted territory. We don't know where we're going to go. I do know that over in Turkey, where they're having a massive currency crisis, their lira is crashing. People are hoarding gold and silver. People are selling their houses to buy gold. People are selling their cars to buy gold. People are selling just about anything they can to get their hands on gold. That's what they want. That should be a huge warning sign, red flag to everybody in the West, because nobody in the West owns gold, owns physical gold and silver. Nobody, hardly anybody at all. So you want to diversify, pick up one of these 10-ounce bars from Silver Gold Bull. Beautiful, build your wealth in ounces. I'm going to continue to buy and diversify my wealth, my assets in precious metals and some gold stocks maybe. Anyways, we got to do what's right. Each of us has everybody's situation is different. So, do your own research. That's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and head on over to my Road to Wealth and Freedom for some more great articles on personal finance, precious metals, coins, collecting, all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Take care.